play a game.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Three Guys and a Stogie. And today I am riding solo, so please forgive me if I am not very good at this. Pardon me. So today I am talking all about Day of the Dead, and it's probably one of my favorite not new. I can't say that it's new because it's not. It actually dates back thousands of years ago. But it's more new to me because I've been doing more research on it ever since that movie came out called Coco. And also, like, movie's absolutely awesome. Love that movie. Unfortunately, I cannot watch it anymore. It just hits way too hard and way too close to home for me. I lost my grandmother in 2014, and there's an elderly lady in this movie, and that's why I really like it. Really hits really close to me. I'm gonna do my best here and try to talk about it, and hopefully I can go an hour, but this might be way shorter than it normally is, which is okay. Especially, doing this on my own. It's tough trying to, keep the conversation alive. You know what I'm saying? But I'm kind of rambling. So, anyway, let's get a little backstory on Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. And I'm going to actually have a little bit of a background music going, so maybe that'll help me and soothe me, whatever. I don't even know if you can hear the music. I know I can, but I don't know if you can. But Day of the Dead. What is Day of the Dead? And I'm going to tell you what Day of the Dead is to me. To me, Day of the Dead is celebrating our loved ones that have passed away, not mourning them. And I know that gets very mixed up, and people say that Day of the Dead is Mexican Halloween. Well, it's not. It really isn't. It's actually the complete opposite. You celebrate your loved ones that have passed on, family, friends, even pets. And sorry, this mic's a little close. And that's what we do. Like, you set up an altar, and I'll explain everything that I'm about to talk about. You set up an altar, and it's called ofrenda, and you put offerings there. Obviously, like, your main one would be pictures and stuff like that of the deceased, and you also have things like there's bread that you could put on there, things that they like, from jewelry to tequila. You could put different things like that. So you set up an altar and you put all these quote-unquote offerings, and it's supposed to help the souls of the deceased find their way to the other side. So they pass. They're actually coming back to you, so you can celebrate them, and then they cross over, as one would say. So you put different things on there, and I will get into some of the things that are put on there. And there are skulls that represent each individual that has passed away, and usually they're actually made out of sugar, water, and meringue. and it makes like a kind of like a paste or a mold or something like that. Not mold, like a clayish or whatever. It's very moldable, is what I should say. And you create a skull out of it, and it's usually decorated with very bright colors and everything like that. So, and the sugar is actually said that it represents the sweetness of life. It's said that the sugar is the sweetness of life. So that's one thing that you could put on there. Another thing that I've seen pictures of on multiple different websites and everything like that. You put a flower, and in particular, or specifically, a marigold. And these bright orange flowers. So these flowers, the marigolds, are often referred to as the flowers of the dead, or flor de muerto. And it's believed that the scent of these bright orange flowers help attract the souls to the altar. They can be freshly picked, and actually, I'll do a little bit of quick research in a few. And I know there's a certain day that you actually plant the seeds for the marigolds, and by the time they're bloomed and ready to be picked, it is right around the time for Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. Anyway, the flowers are believed that the scent of them, the bright orange flowers, help attract souls to the altar. The scent of the bright orange flowers. Flor de Muerto. That's what the marigolds are often referred as, or flowers of the dead. And it's believed that the scent of the bright orange flowers help attract the souls to the altar. And they could be freshly picked or created with like construction paper, orange construction paper, and everything like that. And I've seen pictures that there was a complete I mean, I would even go as far as like a parking lot, but it's like an aisle that'll lead you to the altar. And other things that you can put on the altar and everything like that are perforated paper. And a lot of people will go the easy route and just buy pre-made shit, and they're actually like very intricately cut tissue paper. And it's said that the holes allow a way for the holes to, sorry. It is said that the holes allow a way for the souls to travel through and visit us. And it's also believed that the delicate nature of the paper is symbolic of the fragility of life. Now, earlier I said something like you can put bread, and there's something, it's called bread of the dead, or pan de muerto. And it's a soft sweet bread, and it's designed in like a circle, or with the circle and limbs to mimic the shape of a skull and crossbones. And it's finished with a dusting of sugar. And back to the sugar and life is sweet and everything like that. And it's a number of, there's a number of different things like food items that you could put on there, but this is more common. Like the bread is way more common to put on there. We like to include items that the person liked. Like I said earlier, it could be tequila or water, or a certain beer. And I mean, I know if I'm gonna have my altar, I want you guys to put a 12-pack Corona and a bottle of 1942 Don Julio. Like, so there's another thing you put on the altar too, and it's usually salt. And you put it in a pattern of a cross, and that is so that the soul won't be corrupted. If you remember like certain scary movies, like salt, it protects you from evil. So it's basically saying that the soul won't be corrupted. And it helps purify them. And Like I said earlier, your most common thing would be like pictures of the deceased loved ones, whether it's family, friends, or pets. You can do that. I mean, this year this is gonna be my first year actually building an altar and everything like that, and I cannot wait. This is very dear to my heart, and yeah, this might be my first time doing it, but I'm gonna really put my heart and soul into it. Dia de los Muertos has been around for, like I said earlier, thousands of years, and it's said that, the roots of the Day of the Dead celebrated in contemporary Mexico and among those of Mexican heritage in the United States and around the world go back some 3,000 years. Like I said, thousands of years ago. And it's to the rituals honoring the dead in pre-Columbian Mesoamerica. The Aztecs and other Nahua people living in what is now Central America held a cyclical view of the universe and saw death as an integral, ever-present part of life. Upon dying, a person was believed to travel to, and it's like a super long-ass Spanish word that I do not know. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it. If I had my dad here, I'd ask him like, hey, how do you say that word? But it's the land of the dead. Only after getting through 9 challenging levels, a journey of several years, could the person's soul finally reach Mictlan, the final resting place. Nahua rituals honoring the dead, traditionally held in August. Family members provided food, water, tools to aid the deceased in this difficult journey. This inspired the contemporary Day of the Dead practice in which people leave food or other offerings on their loved ones' graves or set them out on a makeshift altar called ofrendas in their homes. This is what I should have been reading earlier. So in ancient Europe, pagan celebrations of the dead also took place in the fall and consisted of bonfires, dancing, feasting, fun. Celebration. Some of these customs survived even after the rise of the Roman Catholic Church, which unofficially adopted them into the celebration of 2 Catholic holidays, All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, and it's celebrated on the first 2 days of November. In medieval Spain, people would bring wine and pan de animas, which is spirit bread, to the graves of their loved ones on All Souls' Day. They would also cover graves with flowers and light candles to illuminate the dead souls way back to their homes on earth. In the 16th century, Spanish conquistadors brought such traditions with them to the New World, along with a darker view of death, influenced by the devastation of the bubonic plague. So, as I'm reading this, I know it's probably going to be a little bit repetitive. I'm explaining to you, and I'm also reading shit too. So how is it actually celebrated? Now, I kind of explained how it would be if I did it and everything like that, but Dia de los Muertos is not, as is commonly thought, a Mexican version of Halloween. Though the 2 holidays do share some traditions, including costumes and parades. On the Day of the Dead, it is believed that the border between the spirit world and the real world dissolve. During this brief period, the souls of the dead awaken and return to the living world to feast, drink, dance, and play music with their loved ones. In turn, the living family members treat the deceased as honored guests in their celebrations and leave the deceased's favorite foods and other offerings at grave sites or on the ofrendas built in their homes. Ofrendas can be decorated with candles, bright marigolds called capasuchil, and red cock's combs alongside food like stacks of tortillas, fruit, tequila, beer, whatever. The most prominent symbols related to the Day of the Dead are skeletons and skulls. In the early 20th century, the printer and cartoonist Jose Guadalupe Posada incorporated skeletal figures in this art, mocking politicians and commenting on revolutionary politics. His most well-known work, La Calavera Catrina, or Elegant Skull, features a female skeleton adorned with makeup and dressed in fancy clothes. The 1910 etching was intended as a statement about Mexicans adopting European fashions over their own heritage and traditions. La Calavera Catrina was then adopted as one of the most recognizable Day of the Dead icons. During contemporary Day of the Dead festivities, people commonly wear skull masks and eat sugar candy molded into the shape of skulls. The Pan de Animas of All Souls Day rituals in Spain is reflected in Pan de Muerto, the traditional sweet-baked good of the Day of the Dead. Other food and drink associated with the holiday but consumed year-round as well include spicy dark chocolate and corn-based drink called atole. If you haven't had atole, you have to have some of my mom's homemade atole. It's fire. You can wish somebody a happy Day of the Dead by saying Feliz Día de los Muertos. So, and then, as I was saying earlier, like there's a movie, it's called Coco, and it kind of like scratches the surface of the Day of the Dead. So, which is pretty cool. Like it was like I said, it was a great movie. Though these traditions are universal, various regions across the country also have their own unique takes on how to honor the dead. Mexico City has held a boisterous parade since 2016. That's going to be on my bucket list now. I'm going to Mexico City for Day of the Dead one year. It's complete with entertainers in bold costume, music, and dance and floats. Michoacan is the place to go for food. The people of La Huasteca Potosina indulge in a day-long party, while Aguascalientes Festival of Skulls have near week-long celebrations that include their annual skeleton parade. Legends of Mexico at the Guanajuato University of Guanajuato. Students create an altar much loved by photo-snapping tourists that honors deceased scholars. I already said that Día de los Muertos is not connected to Halloween. Día de los Muertos was always celebrated in November. Once the Spanish colonized Mexico in the 16th century, their own Catholic views on the dead influenced Mexican customs. Día de los Muertos was originally celebrated in the summer months. The holiday came to fall on November 1st. The holiday came to fall on November 1st and 2nd to align with All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day on the Catholic calendar. The first day honors children who have passed, while the second celebrates adults. So offerings to the dead are inspired by the four elements. Fire, candles are lit to help guide the spirit's journey. Water, pitchers of water are left to quench their thirst while traveling to the land of the living. Earth, a variety of traditional foods are prepared to help nourish the dead. And then you have wind. Papel picado are vibrant, delicate paper banners, and are strung up. They're decorated with elaborate cutout patterns that are said to allow the souls to pass through. Altars are also adorned by sentimental photographs, toys, marigolds, and skulls. Traditional Mexican foods play a huge part in the celebrations. It's likely that even those who don't celebrate Day of the Dead are familiar with the holiday's famous symbol, and that's the skull. So if you want to wear a Day of the Dead costume, there are plenty of YouTube videos and everything like that to do like sugar skull makeup. It's actually really awesome to see some of the face paintings that I've seen, and I'll post pictures of that too. So I was thinking I was gonna have an hour of, who am I kidding? I knew I wasn't gonna have a fucking hour of this shit. What else can I fucking talk about for the next at least 10 minutes? A lot of this is repetitive, I'm sorry, and I just hate just pretty much straight reading from, notes and Wikipedia and shit like that. Like I want to talk about it where what I'm saying is I need to be a little bit more structured in my research and everything like that, so I'm not repeating myself with everything I just said. But I'm actually gonna look up like places where it's super celebrated, and I know I said earlier Mexico City is huge for it. For this year I am celebrating Day of the Dead, and I eventually will put pictures of, the face paint that I do on myself, and hopefully it comes out good. I'm actually really stoked for this holiday to actually celebrate it. This is my first year doing it. I know I said that already. We'll see how this goes. I mean, I feel like this is gonna be a good holiday this year, especially to celebrate my family and all my loved ones, not just family, friends, and even some pets. Recently, like I lost a lot of family members and family and friends in the last year, and it's not easy. It's never easy losing a loved one, but I feel like celebrating this holiday, it's really gonna help me be at peace with losing my loved ones. That's why I'm actually really excited to celebrate. So we'll see how that goes. I'm actually excited for it. If I had my two co-hosts here, they'd be able to ask me questions and I'd be able to answer them as best as possible. But if you guys have any questions for me, drop me a comment in on the Instagram. Instagram is 3guyspod2021, and I think I'm gonna post a bunch of pictures that I'm gonna pull off the internet and everything like that, so you guys know what I'm gonna talk about this episode. And hopefully I won't have to do this again, because this is the hardest fucking thing I've ever had to do. Not even my vape helped me calm down. My mind is going a mile a minute right now. But yeah, you can find us on Instagram at 3guyspod2021. You can find us on all your major podcast platforms, Spotify, iTunes. I think we're on Amazon, iHeartRadio. I mean, if you have an Alexa, you can be like, "Hey Alexa, play 3 Guys in a Stogie podcast," and it should pop up. I'll be doing probably a lot of editing for this episode, and hopefully it won't turn out as bad as I actually am thinking it is, especially with all the rambling and repetitiveness. Another update on our 1-year anniversary show. Everything's good to go with the collab. We're just going to figure out exactly what we're going to be talking about and everything like that. So that's going to be a fun ass episode. I can't wait for that. Daphne Velma, if you're listening to this and you haven't turned it off, more power to you, seriously. Yeah, the collab is coming soon. I kind of have an idea of what we're going to be talking about. Might be little kids or something with some very evil ways. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that episode. It's gonna be a good episode, and if I'm gonna speak for Jimmy Baggs and Donnie Rowe here, and say that it's an episode that we're all three of us are really excited about having. Yeah, we have friends over and stuff like that, and we go on big ass tangents of randomness, but this is a little different because it's another podcast. And their podcast is good. I enjoyed it. Listened to the new episode, and it was great. It was a great episode. So I'm just really trailing on right now. I'm working on a new logo for us too. We have a very, very basic logo that I believe Don found on Google or some shit, but I'm working on a new logo, and it's actually quite funny with some of the things that I came up with. Yeah, so there's that hopefully that's coming soon. I am going to be doing what James suggested last episode on having a different intro music every month. So next month is November, and obviously Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna figure out, is there actually any Thanksgiving music? I don't know. I know there's plenty of Christmas music, there's plenty of Halloween music, there's plenty of summer music. I mean, I'll figure something out. I'm not sure. So that should be fun. What else am I gonna be working on? I'd like to get okay, so I'm recording tonight. Today is Friday, October 7th, and tomorrow I'm supposed to go out to our friend Chris's house, kind of hang out and shoot the shit and have fun. I don't know if I'm 100% going, because I have a chili cook-off going on tomorrow against my mom and uncle. So I know I'm going to win that, just saying. But I have that tomorrow going on, and I have family coming over for that. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of drinking and stuff like that. So I might not be able to make it out to Chris's house tomorrow. And we were thinking about recording tomorrow over there, which is why I think Don's not here. Well, actually, I didn't call Don. I guess I could have called Don and we could have did an episode, but I figured I'd just try something out on solo level, and it is not easy, let me tell you. James, he said he was taking his mom out to eat, that's awesome. Good job. Good son. God, where was I at? I just went off, and I don't even remember what the hell I was even talking about. All right, I'm gonna end it. It's only been in half an hour, but I think it's not bad for my first episode, minus the whole repetitiveness. Who knows? When I edit this, I might not post it, but I still will post pictures. Day of the Dead festivities are usually a week long, and it starts on October 28th, where you already have your ofrenda put up, and that's when the first candle is lit and a white flower is placed to welcome the lost souls. On October 29th, the next candle is lit and a glass of water is placed for the lonely and forgotten souls. On October 30th, another candle is lit, a glass of water and a piece of bread is placed, dedicated to those who left without eating in a tragic way or fatal accident. On October 31st, another candle is lit, a glass of water and a piece of bread is placed. We add fruit, like orange, mandarin, or guava, and is dedicated to our ancestors and children in limbo. On November 1st, also known as All Saints' Day, the souls who died too soon as children arrive. This time we place sweet food and candy at the altar joined with toys. On November 2nd, Day of the Faithful Departed, this is the day all adults visit their loved ones. So all food, mole, tamales, etc., pleasures like beer and cigarettes, and important objects are placed on ofrenda. On November 3rd, the last white candle is lit, copal is burned, and we say goodbye to our deceased, asking them to come back next year as they are always welcome in our homes. Then offerings are removed. So that's really the story of, or the whole backstory on Day of the Dead. And I apologize for this episode being late, because I'm recording this extra part here and adding it so I can have a little bit more time recorded. So, yeah. I'm excited to build my first ofrenda and to actually celebrate Day of the Dead this year. And I'm going to be painting my face and probably my parents too. I don't know if they're going to be down for that. But yeah, I will definitely take pictures and show everybody what my ofrenda looks like, and I hope everybody likes it. So with that being said, you can find us on all your major podcast platforms. You can find us on Instagram at 3GuysPod2021. And with that being said, this is Lupe, your favorite host with the most, signing out. We out this bitch. Peace.